We do apologize. It appears like we had a sound issue for a little while, but I do believe it's working now. 20 minutes left in this first half alongside Daniel Scher, IMS Thayer, for a matchup here between the Mount St. Joe Gales and the Gilman Greyhounds here in the MIAA quarterfinal. It takes a while. We're on a delay. Taekwon Stroud set to take this free kick for Gilman. Just a moment ago, the Mount St. Joe goalkeeper taken off after a yellow card. He's set to come back on. Mount St. Joe taken down there, and it looks like the referee may be sharing a word here with Ryan Martinez, who came back after his concussion, and he's taken off with a yellow card there. So Martinez is taken off with a yellow card there. He's replaced by Logan Paff, who comes back on after his injury. A windy day here. So we do now have confirmation that our sound is working, so we do apologize for that mistake. As always, our setup processes are very complex, so something is always bound to go wrong, but thankfully enough, we were able to fix it with the aid of our production team behind us. So we're all set here now. 19:53 left in this first half. The score still tied up 0-0 here between MSJ and Gilman. Opportunities for both teams thus far, but still no goals. Ashton Carey in goal for Mount St. Joe. Grant Farley in goal for Gilman. Both still with clean sheets. Sean Thompson, the sophomore right back there for MSJ. He plays it on. Dylan Chung changing sides of the field. Logan Paff on the run for Gilman. He heads it on. No Greyhounds in the direction of the ball, though. Ashton Carey will recover for MSJ in the box. Lucas Ayu now. He'll play it back to Danielson. McKenna in the middle of the pitch. Danielson forward. Dispossessed there by Michael Brittingham. And Danielson hits it out of bounds there. A throw in to come for Gilman, who does so quickly. Johnny Melanson looking to take the throw. He'll just pass it along for Greg Diet. Jackson Simmons set to come back on at the next whistle. He was taken out after a neck injury. But it looks like he's set to come back on. He was replaced by Torrin Akins. McKenna clears away momentarily. Played back in, though, by Avery Merlot. Logan Paff playing nice defense there in his offensive third. Cleared away by MSJ. Brittingham, the holding midfielder for Gilman, plays it forward for Johnny Melanson, the sophomore, who dribbles into the middle of the field, finds Tyler Martinez. Luke Unger with it now. Plays it on for Merlot with a long shot.
Oh.
And just over the crossbar there, Avery Merlot, one of the senior captains and a central midfielder for Gilman. 2 or so yards above the crossbar there of Ashton Carey's goal. 2 MSJ players coming on now. Number 25, as I stated before, Jackson Simmons returns to the pitch, and Alex Krabs making his first appearance today for the Gales. Carey goes right back to Simmons in his reappearance after his neck injury. Thompson with it now on the near side at the bottom of your screens. McKenna looking for Guerrero on the far side. Eli Webb in there defensively. McKenna with a little bit of a run there. Defended by Avery Merlot. Meyer clears it there. Played ahead by Simmons, but does so by putting the ball out of bounds. It'll be a throw here for Gilman. 16:50 left in the first half. So once again, thank you for joining us here on Greyhound TV alongside Daniel Scherer. I am Essex Thayer, and we have a fantastic matchup today between the 3 seed and the 6 seed in the MIAA quarterfinals. The winner will play on Thursday afternoon in the semifinals. And they will do so against the number 2 seed, the McDonough Eagles. They'll play away in Owings Mills, whichever team wins this battle. If it is Gilman, that game will be brought to you on Greyhound TV. Michael Brittingham dispossessing Stroud there. He was looking for Logan Paff on the run, but a ball was nicked there by MSJ. Avery Merlot plays it on, though, once again looking for Logan Paff. Chung clears it away for Stroud. Stroud on the run in the middle of the pitch, looks to his right, finds Danielson. Eli Webb in there defensively for Gilman. Danielson tripping on the ball and sent out of bounds smartly by Eli Webb. It'll be a throw in for Mount St. Joe as they bring on a substitution. That's number 14, Brett Callahan, who will come on in favor of Van Danielson. The throw in from Lucas Ayu on the front side of the box. Logan Paff coming in for defensive duties. Tyquan Stroud with a shot from outside the box, but right in the direction of Grant Farley, who recovers easily. Farley, the sophomore goalkeeper for Gilman, has started every game this season and started every game last season as a freshman. He ended the season with a concussion injury, though, but when Gilman lost in the MIAA quarterfinals last year away at Loyola, hoping to not bow out of the tournament here in the quarterfinals this year as well. Farley got his foot to the ball there. The Greyhounds were calling for an offsides penalty, and it looks like that's what they will get, as Brett Callahan was offsides in his run. Substitutions now for John Seals' Gilman side. He brings on Simon Warfield and Jack Stuzen, replacing Luke Unger and Logan Paff. As the Gilman student section to our right starts to raise their volume here. A very important game, obviously, for the Greyhounds and the Gales this afternoon. The winner goes on to play McDonough on Thursday afternoon away in the semis. The loser calls it a season. Tyler Martinez sets it for Avery Meyer, who clears away. A Gale taken down. That's number 25, Simmons. And Jack Stuzen is carded for the takedown there. So the referee's quick to send players off the pitch with cards. Stuzen will go off with his first of the day, replaced by Logan Paff, who just came off on a substitution. Assistant coach, Richard Schock, sharing his concerns with Jack Stuzen, who's now on the bench. He'll come on most likely momentarily. Michael Brittingham dispossessing the Gale there in the middle of the field. Played forward by Asayu. Warfield with it now for Gilman. Logan Paff winning that header against Tyquan Stroud. Callahan playing it forward for Guerrero, but Gilman will clear. Warfield with the ball at the bottom of your screens. Kicks that one off of Stroud. It'll be a Gilman throw, and Greg Diet will come forward to throw it in with a corner-leg throw. A lot of distance on this throw from the senior captain, Greg Diet. 13 minutes left in this first half. Still scoreless here between Gilman and Mount St. Joe. The throw in there off of Stroud. Greg taken down outside the box. And a continuation of the foul. Diet was taken down by Stroud. Looks like that ball may have been played in an offsides position there by Diet. It'll be. And now the play is a discussion between the referee and the head coach for Mount St. Joe. That's Mike St. Martin. And a little bit of confusion there on that foul. It originally looked like Greg Diet was in an offsides position, but now it looks like the foul was called against Tyquan Stroud, who forced Diet down to the ground. and did so in an illegal manner. So Eli Webb will be the one doing the deed of crossing this ball in for Gilman as the clock ticks to 12 minutes left in this first half. Webb does so on a line drive. Tyler Martinez in there right over the crossbar once again. A nice cross in from Webb. And a nice kick there from Tyler Martinez. Just a little bit too much English on that one over the bar. 2 shots, close but no cigar, over the bar so far for Gilman. 1 from Avery Merlot, 1 from Tyler Martinez, both seniors. Dutch Furlong, the junior, checking in for the first time this afternoon for Gilman. He comes on in favor of Johnny Melanson. Taekwon Stroud with it now on the near side. Dribbles the ball away from Paff as Mount St. Joe switches sides of the field with Simmons. Chung, the center back, with it now. Goes to his right, Thompson. Into the center for McKenna. Chung with McKenna, defended by Tyler Martinez. Mount St. Joe doing nicely here to have some possession with 11 minutes left in this first half as they make an offensive run there, but a little too much on the front foot as the ball trickles easily into the hands of Grant Farley. Farley with a missed kick there, but Gilman will recover here with Greg Diet, who forwards that ball out of bounds. Mount St. Joe throw to come in their offensive half. Asayu taking his time, looks down the line for number 14. That's Brett Callahan, the junior, who battles for that ball with Alden Booth. Alden Booth fouled there. A really nice defensive play from the freshman, Alden Booth, who forced Callahan to foul him there right along the touchline. It'll be a free kick for Gilman, and it looks like Graham Farley will take it. Check that, Greg Diet, the one to do so. And he will clear that away off the head of McKenna. It goes out of bounds on the Gilman offensive half. And Greg Diet will move forward once again to throw it in. Simon Warfield, the likely target down the line. Greg Diet does go down the line in the direction of Paff. The ball falls to the feet of Warfield, who looks for Martinez. Merlot heads it on. Furlong in there, taken down just outside the box. And Merlot's taken down. A foul there against Avery Merlot. 9 minutes left in this first half. Ashton Carey sets this ball in play for Mount St. Joe. Taekwon Stroud forward for Callahan, who flicks it on nicely in the direction of Alex Krabs. Callahan plays it back to Stroud, who dribbles that ball really nicely to retain possession. Nice little footy play there from Stroud. Callahan maintaining possession there. He was fouled in the process of doing so. So Mount St. Joe will put themselves in nice position here for a free kick. Stroud looking like he's going to be the one to take it. 6 players in the box for Mount St. Joe. Played in by Thompson. Headed on there. And so close for Mount St. Joe. A little bit of a flick on there inside the box. And the closest player there for Mount St. Joe was, it appears, defender number 2, Ryan St. Martin. Hard to see these numbers on the front of the Mount St. Joe jerseys, especially in the sun. Tyler Martinez. Dutch Furlong in there against Stroud. Stroud winning the ball and pushing it forward. Alden Booth taking over. Finds Warfield to his left as that ball goes off the foot of Asayu. Danielson will check back in for Callahan. Danielson started the day at forward for Mount St. Joe and took some time on the bench, but he's back now for the Gales. Greg Diet Throws that one in for Gilman. Tyler Martinez in there, and a shot that goes off a carry. The shot on goal there from Tyler Martinez deflected off of Ashton Carey, but luckily enough for him, didn't deflect into the back of the net, instead just wide of the right goal post. So Tyler Martinez will have another go here, this time from the corner flag. Ashton Carey most likely catching his breath in goal. The ball floating around in the box, headed away by Mount St. Joe and cleared. That ball cleared out of bounds. Gilman will have a throw, and this is well within Greg Diet range. 6.5 minutes left here in the first half. Gilman with some fantastic opportunities here. 2 balls went off above the crossbar, and 1 almost trickling in there off a carry. Mount St. Joe having an opportunity a few minutes ago on the flick on inside the box. Diet looking to play that one in. Almost hits it on the Northern Parkway, but stopped by the black fence right above the wall. Almost went into the street there. A miss hit from Greg Diet looking to play that ball inside the box. Ashton Carey plays it forward for Mount St. Joe. As he tends to do, he plays it on very quickly to start the offense back up. Simmons to his right, Stroud there, a little bit short for Stroud, and Gilman will take over here with Paff. Thompson clears forward for Danielson, who falls on the ball. Webb. Nicely played to Martinez. A shot there from Tyler, maybe looking to have Carey on his off foot. As that long ball was easily saved there by Carey. No deflections this time. Mount St. Joe will start back up as the Gilman student section to our right starts to chant. A lot of physicality so far in this first half between Gilman and Mount St. Joe. 3 cards to show for it. And most recently, a little bit of a push there from Logan Paff that was not called. The game's starting to get a little chippy here between 2 sides that don't particularly like each other. Brittingham clears it ahead. Martinez got a foot to it, but Mount St. Joe will take over. Stroud sending Unger to his backside as Mount St. Joe looking to play it ahead for Danielson. Sends the ball out of bounds. That was Miles Lamb, the sophomore left midfielder for Mount St. Joe. Greg Diet plays it down the line. Avery Merlot. The long ball to no Greyhound in particular, but that ball mishit by Asayu, who plays it ahead. Alden Booth heads it on. Krabs in the middle to McKenna. Paff tapping it ahead for Unger, who's taken down. Merlot here has Warfield to his left and looks for him. And Simon Warfield played that ball in an offsides position. And now the referee's finally seeing it. That play continued on. The referee didn't see the offsides flag up on the far side of the pitch. Warfield a little too early on his run there on the ball. Was in an offsides position by the time it was played. So Mount St. Joe will restart. Ashton Carey once again playing it to his right to Sean Thompson, his sophomore right back. Simmons keeping it on the defensive side of the pitch with Chung. Thompson finds McKenna in the center. Mount St. Joe looking to retain possession here as we're now under 3 minutes left in the first half. The Gales keeping on their defensive half here with Stroud. Thompson looking to play it forward. Nicely flicked on there by Krabs before being dispossessed by Gilman. Merlot to his left. Michael Brittingham, the holding midfielder for Gilman. Looking forward down the line for Warfield, and that stayed in momentarily before trickling in out of bounds. Zach Whelan checking into the game for Mount St. Joe in favor of Alex Krabs. The throw in from Asayu, right to Whelan. Michael Brittingham plays it forward though for Gilman. Path taken down. 10 yards outside the box. This might be within Tyler Martinez range for a free kick here. 2 minutes left in the first half. Unger, Martinez, and Webb lining up near the ball. For those of you who haven't previously watched Gilman all too much, Martinez is usually the more skill set player who kicks it when you're going towards the goal, and then Eli Webb is usually the one who just crosses it in trying to get a header on. So as Martinez lines up, it might be possible that Gilman's going to go for the goal here and test Ashton Carey. Martinez goes towards the goal, blocked by that Mount St. Joe defensive line as he went low. Alden Booth looking down the line, right along the touchline, cleared away by Stroud as that one stays in bounds. Diet looking to play it all the way back to Grant Farley, who keeps it in bounds and clears. Ticking towards a minute left here in the first half. Gilman taking over on possession. Merlot changing sides of the field with Meyer. St. Martin on the top of the screen, dispossessed by Avery Meyer, who's on the run. We're under a minute now. Chung sends the ball back the other way in the direction of Eli Webb, who keeps the ball in bounds and clears. Down the line, and that goes out of bounds. It'll be a Mount St. Joe throw. 40 seconds left in this first half. The throw in there for Mount St. Joe. A Gale taken down, but that's done so legally. Whelan retains possession, though, for Mount St. Joe. Stroud. The ball trickling around there just outside the box. Headed on by Gilman. They might just have time for a counterattack as a foul is called there. We're under 10 seconds left, so that might be the final play of the first half as the clock ticks to 2, to 1, and to 0. So at the end of the first half here in the MIAA quarterfinal, the score still knotted up 0-0 between Mount St. Joe and Gilman. So with 10 seconds left on the clock here at halftime, we will step away for halftime. We'll be back soon for the second half of this MIAA quarterfinal matchup. Mount St. Joe and Gilman. Winner stays, loser goes home. We'll be back. And we are back here for the second half between Gilman and Mount St. Joe. The score still tied 0-0. And this winner plays on, loser goes home battle. Michael Brittingham looking to his left, clears that one. Nearly out of bounds there. Simon Warfield there to save it. Played ahead by Greg Diet. Alden Booth heads that out of bounds. And Mount St. Joe will throw. Asayu set to throw in here for the Gales. Down the line he does so, looking for Danielson, who knocks that out of bounds. Once again alongside Daniel Scherer, I am Essex there, and welcome to Greyhound TV for this MIAA quarterfinal matchup between the Mount St. Joe Gales, the number 6 seed and the final seed in this MIAA playoff, and the Gilman Greyhounds, the number 3 seed and the top seed playing today. Loyola and McDonough, the 1 and 2 seeds respectively, received byes and don't have to play until the semifinals on Thursday afternoon. The winner of this one goes on to play McDonough away on Thursday afternoon in Owings Mills. Stroud taken down there momentarily by Unger. He's back up though and on the run. Finally dispossessed by Martinez. Martinez taken down. Finally a foul called against Mount St. Joe there. Stroud quick to share the words, and Guerrero looked like he was the player to kick that ball away slightly. The referee a little displeased about that one. Certainly been some gamesmanship here between both the Greyhounds and the Gales. A lot of physicality in this game. Quite a few yellow cards in the first half. I believe 3 for Gilman and 1 for Mount St. Joe. That ball cleared away by Guerrero. Danielson there for Mount St. Joe, dispossessed by Meyer. Webb plays it forward. Unger there for Gilman, who will play it back to his holding midfielder. That's Michael Brittingham. Thompson for McKenna, who's on the run for Mount St. Joe. The ball trailing behind him. Dispossessed there by Avery Merlot, but in the process, Avery fouled McKenna there in the Mount St. Joe offensive half. And the Gales will have a free kick. Stroud with the long ball in there, wide right of Farley's goal. Farley with a goal kick here to come. Cleared away by Farley. McKenna in there for Mount St. Joe, played forward by Guerrero. Danielson running there for the Gales. Eli Webb taken down by Danielson on the run. Webb slow to get up. 36:40 left in this second half. In regulation time, that is. If this game ends at 0-0, we'll be going to extra time here to decide who goes and plays McDonough on Thursday. If we were to ever make it to overtime, there would be 2 periods of overtime, switching sides in between, and then penalty kicks to decide a winner if that isn't enough. Guerrero heads it forward for Danielson, who slips on the ground. No foul there, as Avery Meyer wasn't the one who forced him down, but in fact the grass here on Chan Lee. Greg Diet plays it forward. No Greyhounds in the direction there, but a ball missed by Thompson. Logan Paff there to pick it up for Gilman, and the ball sent out of bounds by Chung. Greg Diet to throw here. A short throw in at the front side of the box. Warfield in there, cleared away by Whelan. And Stroud does the final clearance for MSJ. A handball there against Michael Brittingham. Wheelan switches sides of the field. Martinez in there. He dispossessed the Gale as that one goes out of bounds. You go on camera. You go on camera. Dimitri Jordan. Down the line for Mount St. Joe on the throw. Danielson had possession before he slipped. It looks like Danielson's really suffering on the grass here thus far. Thompson, the clearance. Headed on by Asayu. Before Alden Booth was the one to take over for Gilman. It'll be a Gilman throw here coming off of Mount St. Joe. Asayu, the one to kick it out of bounds. Thompson. Michael Brittingham with the ball. The wind really becoming a factor here this afternoon as the gusts are pretty strong. I'm sure as you can hear in the microphones, the wind blowing around at a pretty nice velocity here. I'm sure that's affecting the balls, especially the long balls going in, as those can change direction whichever way Mother Nature wants them to go with a single gust. Simmons clears it ahead. Danielson there for Mount St. Joe before Gilman puts it forward. Avery Merlot taken down by McKenna as the wind continues. Certainly becoming extremely windy here. Everything blowing every which way. Greg Diet, the free kick here to come. He does so inside the box, headed on by Brittingham in the direction of Martinez, but Carey was there. Looks like that ball was in an offsides position. Martinez there. A good opportunity for Gilman nonetheless, as they're getting balls near the net. That ball targeted for McKenna in the center of the field. Defended heavily by Paff, who had the ball for a moment. Luke Unger dispossessing Wheelan in the middle of the field. Brittingham plays it for Unger, who looks to his left. Simon Warfield, the senior. The long ball in. Martinez got a foot to it inside the box. Unger! And that's Logan Paff, who scores the goal for Gilman to put them ahead by 1. And the student section and the team on top of Logan Paff. The Greyhounds are up 1-0. The ball played in there by Simon Warfield off the head of Martinez, and Logan Paff was there to put it behind Carey. The Greyhounds are up 1-0 with 31:55 left in this match. And the student section lights up with electricity here on Chanley Field as Gilman is one step closer to the semifinals. Tyquan Stroud takes the long ball forward for Gilman in the direction of Farley. Farley. McKenna with it in the center of the field. He does nicely with the ball, and Eli Webb clears it out of bounds. Does so smartly there, Eli Webb. It'll be a Mount St. Joe throw, 31 minutes left in this quarterfinal. Gilman leading 1-0 off the goal from Logan Paff. The throw in long there inside the box. Simon Warfield in there against Asayu. Luke Unger there to clear. Stuzen pressing defensively against Simmons, who plays it forward. Eli Webb heads it away. Martinez plays it back for Meyer, who clears. Stu's in the closest Greyhound, and he's off to the races after that ball. Cleared out of bounds by Chung. A substitution here for John Seals, Gilman's side, as he informs his side to slow it down a little bit. They're up by 1. Johnny Melanson coming on for Simon Warfield, the one who had the nice cross that led to the Logan Paff goal. The long ball in from Diet inside the box. Stuzen came down with the ball for a moment. It's still in there. Brittingham outside the box, and there was a foul somewhere. It looks like maybe Brittingham played that ball with a handball. A Mount St. Joe free kick to come as the gusts finally have calmed down here, at least for a moment, knock on wood. For a while, any loose paper was swirling all over the place. But for now, things have calmed down. Same way Gilman must have now that they're up by 1. Some of the tension must have been released when Logan Paff put that ball in the back of the net. Eli Webb attempting to clear that one away, goes off Guerrero, who keeps it in. Cleared away by Greg Diet out of bounds. It'll be a Mount St. Joe throw. Stroud. Avery Meyer against Guerrero. Out of bounds. It'll be a Gilman throw. Joyce, did you change the score? The throw in from Greg Diet. Stuzen on the run on the near side at the bottom of your screens. He's still free, taken down by Dimitri Jordan, and that sure as heck better be a card. Stuzen taken down. The referee waving Jordan forward, and there it is, a card for Dimitri Jordan. He'll be taken off the pitch. And that one was pretty obvious from the get-go. If Dimitri Jordan weren't exiting the field with the card, I'm sure the Gilman student section would have been voicing their concerns. I probably would have as well. Callahan comes on for Dimitri Jordan. He'll take a seat. The captain for MSJ. His first card of the afternoon, one more, and his day will be done. Melanson with the floating ball in off the head of Brittingham. Not enough on it. It'll trickle out of bounds. Carey will kick away for Mount St. Joe. 28-20 left in this second half. A substitution for Mount St. Joe as Jordan comes right back on in favor of Callahan. So a very short substitution there, just due to the fact that Jordan was carded and had to leave the pitch under MIAA regulations. Thompson with the ball now on the far side, finds Stroud in a central position. Chung cleared away by Simmons. Asayu on the far side. Asayu on the run. Cleared away by Webb, out of bounds. Mount St. Joe with the quick throw. Asayu plays it back to his defensive back line. Simmons with it now on the near side. Chung with Stuzen patrolling the line offensively. A long ball played in there, headed away by Eli Webb in the box. Whelan came down with it momentarily for Mount St. Joe, and they'll retain possession, but this time near the midline. That long ball sent in, no MSJ. Gales in the direction of that ball, and Graham Farley will take control. Alec Carey in there to pressure Farley to pick the ball up. He'll boot it away. Over the midline, Johnny Melanson, the closest Greyhound. And that ball went off of Melanson out of bounds. It'll be a Mount St. Joe throw. 2 Greyhounds set to substitute in. At the next whistle, Logan Paff and Simon Warfield The dynamic duo that caused the first goal here for the Greyhounds. The cross from Warfield resulted in the goal from Paff. That ball off of Stuzen. Went out of bounds. Chung with it now, looks right to Thompson. Asayu with it now as he works his way to the middle of the pitch, cleared away by Eli Webb. Out of bounds by Thompson. And the substitutions are brought on for Gilman. Warfield and Paff come on for Unger and Stuzen. It's the playoffs. Diet to throw in. Down the line. A little bit too much over Paff. Carey. Playing it forward for McKenna. Miss it by Avery Meyer. Guerrero on the run, dispossessed by Martinez, who does nicely to keep that one in bounds. Avery Meyer playing it down the line. Looking for Paff. It'll go out of bounds. Ball played along quickly. A little bit of trickery there between Mount St. Joe as they switch balls on the line. And a little too far forward playing was Dimitri Jordan. Jordan throws it in. Whelan with it for Mount St. Joe, plays it back to Thompson. Meyer clears. Logan Paff, the closest man in blue in there for Gilman. Birmingham playing defense against Whelan, who finds Guerrero. The ball into the box in the direction of Farley, who easily takes control. 24-15 left in regulation here. The Greyhounds still leading 1-0. Farley clears. A moonshot of a ball from Farley well over the midline in the direction of Paff, who heads it on for Melanson. A heavy first touch there from Johnny. Leads all the way to the goalkeeper, Ashton Carey. Carey to his right. Sean Thompson, the sophomore right back for Mount St. Joe. Taekwon Stroud over to Simmons, who gets the ball right back. Stroud looking to his left. Guerrero headed on, though, by Meyer for Tyler Martinez. Martinez down the line. No Greyhounds in that direction. It'll be an easy throw in here for Mount St. Joe, and subs will be brought on. Unger for Gilman. Danielson for Mount St. Joe. And the Gales will throw. Jordan to Simmons, who will switch sides with Thompson. Thompson forward looking for Danielson, forwarded by Whelan, who has the ball now. Nicely defended by Greg Diet, who just kicks the ball out of bounds. It'll be a Mount St. Joe throw, as they'll bring on Owen Englund. His first appearance of the day. He'll come on for Miles Lamb. The throw-in from Asayu, headed on by McKenna. Grant Farley there to collect. 22-20 left in regulation. Farley cleared. Paff in there for Gilman. He flicks it on. Chung in there to defend. Warfield. Too heavy of a ball from Alden Booth as Mount St. Joe had possession for a moment. Mount St. Joe will throw. Can you tell them that they can't be there? Tell them that they can't be there. Those people. Cleared away by Merlot. Unger. Dimitri Jordan, Avery Merlot playing it forward. Ashton Carey taking over possession. Thompson looks into the middle. He has McKenna, his holding midfielder. Taekwon Stroud in the center, looks right. He has Asayu. Defended well there by Simon Warfield. Stroud with it, though, for Mount St. Joe. Danielson finds Stroud again. To his left, that's Dimitri Jordan, who's on a yellow card today. Danielson heading it forward for McKenna inside the box. And cleared away by Gilman, luckily enough for the Greyhounds. A tense moment there as Asayu's taken down by Paff. We'll see if he gets a card or if it's simply a foul. And it looks like it's just going to be that. A free kick, though, to come for Mount St. Joe. A stoppage in play. As it looks like there's going to be a switch of balls here. As that one maybe is not up to snuff. So a fresh soccer ball out here. As Mount St. Joe will have a free kick. 20-20 left in regulation. Headed away by Paff. Long one from Stroud, punched away by Farley. Taekwon Stroud from at least 30 yards away to the left of Farley, who punched that one away with confidence. The first tough save of the day for Grant Farley. A corner kick for Mount St. Joe on the far side. Played short, Taekwon Stroud with it, looks to his left, Whelan and Asayu in there for the Gales. Stroud with the cross in the box. Headed away by Unger and cleared by Paff. Forwarded once again by Mount St. Joe, but cleared by Meyer. Martinez kicks it up the line. Logan Paff will take it. He's on the run against Thompson, who plays it back to Carey. Unger with the long shot, well over the crossbar there, trying to catch Carey on the off foot. He was well outside of his line, clearing that one away, and Unger looked to take advantage. The referees consulting with the Mount St. Joe coaches there. You could easily hear, at least from our perspective, the referee saying enough. Clearly, he's had enough with what he's heard from the Mount St. Joe coaches this afternoon. Simmons playing it ahead for Danielson, who sneaks in to the back line. Greg Diet there defensively. The ball still trickling inside the box. Merlot heads it forward. Unger there to take control, and he'll clear forward. Logan Paff, the closest Greyhound, and that one stays in bounds. Paff with possession, looking towards the middle for Unger. Not enough there on that ball. Chung will clear. Diet controls it forward for Gilman. Unger with it now. Stroud dispossesses, though. Anglin finds McKenna, who plays it forward with a little too much weight on that ball. Gilman will clear ahead. Back into MSJ's defensive third. Ashton Carey to his left. Simmons with the ball, his sophomore left back. Taekwon Stroud. A light cover press there by Logan Paff. The goal scorer for Gilman. Still leading 1-0 here. 17:30 left in regulation. Gilman kicking that one out of bounds. Mount St. Joe set to throw with Dimitri Jordan, who simply plays it back to Simmons. Chung to his right. Thompson with it now. Gilman starting to bring their players back into a more defensive set here, trying to keep that one goal they have. The only goal on the scoreboard. At least in terms of the team in white, not the team in blue. They'll take some more if they can. Alden Booth clears. Michael Brittingham, the closest Greyhound, and he'll forward it before MSJ takes over on the offensive once again. Taekwon Stroud making a little bit of a run there. He's taken down by Merlot, who does not like the call. Lucky to not receive a card there for dissent. So Mount St. Joe will have a free kick here about 10 yards outside of the box. Looks like 4 Gales will be aligning themselves at the top of the box, so they might be going for the goal here. Stroud, and now Whelan, and now Danielson. Whelan taken down inside the box. That one could have been nasty for Gilman. A nice little play there from Mount St. Joe to put pressure on Gilman inside the box. But Farley was there to recover the ball. Gilman put in a tough position there. That ball skied into the air, flicked on by Unger. A Gale was taken down inside the box, but apparently with not enough of a foul for it to constitute a penalty kick. So Gilman lucky to get out of that one without a goal on the board for the team in white. Thompson looks to the center of the field. Tyquan Stroud. Thompson gets it back and looks forward. Eli Webb clears. Luke Unger with the ball now. Booth down the line, this time looking for Logan Paff. The ball being headed around up in the air, has not hit the ground, as it does now. Warfield in there, Birmingham with the ball as well. Unger in there, tabletops a Gale. And it looks like that's going to be a foul by Mount St. Joe there. That's Asayu, who hopped on the back of Luke Unger there. A foul against the Gale. Two Greyhounds set to come on at the next whistle. That's Johnny Melanson and Jack Stuzen. Alec Carey set to do so for Mount St. Joe. The cross in from Webb, headed on. Logan Paff is there for 2 as he silences the crowd. That's the second goal for Logan Paff, and the Greyhounds lead 2-0. John Seal is fired up, and the Gilman student section is as well. 2 goals for Paff and 2 goals for Gilman. They lead with 14-16 left, and they may have just punched themselves a ticket to the semifinals against McDonough on Thursday. The head coach for Mount St. Joe not amused with that play, shared some concerns with the referee. That's Mike St. Martin on the touchline for Mount St. Joe. Already been warned by the referees. But Gilman leads 2-0 off of 2 goals from Logan Paff. Mount St. Joe will have to press offensively in order to get themselves back into this game. Anglin had the ball inside the box. Melanson hustling to keep that one in bounds, is unable to do so. Carey will throw in for Mount St. Joe. He gives it off to Jordan, who throws in. McKenna, the closest Gale, just outside the box. Dimitri Jordan with the long and deep cross in, headed by Asayu out of bounds. Mike St. Martin still chirping the referees as Grant Farley sets to kick this one away. Just under 13 and a half minutes left in regulation. The Greyhounds leading 2-0. The ball cleared away by Ashton Carey. Thompson plays it ahead. Merlot and Diet in there. Diet will clear. Jack Stuzen, the closest Greyhound, as Chung looks left to Jordan. Martinez pressing defensively. Eli Webb sails that ball out of bounds. It looked like it sliced off the side of his foot there. It'll be a Mount St. Joe throw. Merlot heads away. Jordan plays it on for Taekwon Stroud, who's had himself a nice little day for Mount St. Joe. Headed by McKenna inside the box for Mount St. Joe. And the opportunity that may have put themselves right back into this game sailed over the net by number 18, Owen Anglin, one of the many sophomores getting playing time here for Mount St. Joe. With 12 minutes left on the clock, that could have put St. Joe right back into the game down 1. But Anglin, too much, and it went over the bar. Gilman still leading 2-0. Melanson heads that clearance by Grant Farley. Stuzen doing well to send that ball out of bounds on the attempted Mount St. Joe clearance. 2 Greyhounds set to come on. The goal scorer, Logan Paff, and the holding midfielder, Michael Brittingham. Possibly Dutch Furlong as well, set to come on at the next whistle. Simmons with the ball on the near side. He crosses it in deep, looking for Danielson, who plays it for McKenna. McKenna looking for Anglin. Too much weight, cleared away by Avery Meyer. Out of bounds, it'll be a Mount St. Joe throw, and Gilman subs on. Coming on for Mount St. Joe, Brett Callahan, and Furlong, Brittingham, and Paff checking back in for Gilman. Jordan throwing in long. Headed away by Brittingham. Grant Farley there to collect on the tip ball inside the box. He'll take his time here with Gilman leading and 10.5 left in the match. Farley clearing that ball deep, looking for Paff, headed back to the goalkeeper by Chung. Carey will collect. To his left, he finds Jordan as Paff lingers in front of him. Headed on by McKenna. Alden Booth there to clear, though. Mount St. Joe will retain possession. McKenna controlling that ball nicely and playing it back to Stroud. McKenna once again with it, shielding the ball and retaining possession before Simon Warfield is there to clear. Paff pressing on Jordan. Anglin on a little bit of a run here himself, dispossessed by Avery Merlot, and the Greyhounds will clear. We're under 10 minutes left here on Chan Lee. Chung unable to keep that ball in along the touchline, and he kicks it down. A throw-in to come for Gilman. Chung unable to control that ball on his own touchline. The Greyhounds will take their time. Martinez scanning his options, looks towards Paff down the line. Chung there for Mount St. Joe to possess. Thompson headed on by McKenna. And Grant Farley easily there to collect. And he will take his time. In there for Mount St. Joe on the run was Brett Callahan, the junior. Farley away, headed by Carey, who plays it back, precariously looking for Chung. Gilman will counter with Martinez and Paff. Martinez keeps that ball in, looks for Paff down the line, who plays it for Furlong. Thompson there, though, for MSJ. Anglin. Thompson in the middle. Dimitri Jordan with it now at the bottom of your screens. Headed on by Merlot. Martinez with it now. He has Paff. Jordan slipped to the ground there. Paff will keep possession with Martinez, who flicks it on looking for Furlong. The ball slipping and sliding, same as the players, as Mount St. Joe now on the counterattack. Gilman getting a little too cute there offensively, unable to retain possession. Callahan headed it in, looking inside the box. Gilman dispossesses him, though, and clears it. Half requesting a handball call there. Doesn't get it from the referee. McKenna heads it on inside the box. Merlot clears away. Furlong playing it back to Brittingham, who clears it much deeper down all the way back to Ashton Carey in his goalie box. 2 Greyhounds set to come on at the next whistle. Andy Weinstein will make his first appearance of the day, and Luke Unger will check back in. McKenna taken down there. That's an easy foul against Greg Diet. 7 minutes left on the clock here. Mount St. Joe, a few last gasp opportunities here. Taekwon Stroud, Carey, and Danielson all lined up near the ball, about 30 yards out from goal. Stroud takes it, line, and that goes right into Brittingham where the sun does not shine, and he's down. Brittingham down there, 6:29 left on the clock. And that's the injury of maybe the most painful regard there for Michael Brittingham, as he's down and will most likely come off after that one, as he's now catching his breath and walking around. Michael Brittingham doing his job there on the line and taking the shot from Taekwon Stroud. Just walking that one off. The throw in here for Jordan. 6.5 minutes left in regulation. Headed away by Meyer. Martinez flicks it on, and Gilman clears. Chung goes to his right to Thompson, who gives it right back to Chung. Jordan on the left. Looks into the middle. McKenna there to flick it on. And a long ball from Carey, and that one almost finds its way onto Northern Parkway. The second time it's hit that black fence at the top of the wall. One time off Diet for Gilman, one time off a Carey for Mount St. Joe. So at least the game is tied 1-1 in that regard. Ball's hitting the black fence right ahead of Northern Parkway. 5:45 left in regulation. Gilman clearing with Grant Farley in goal. Merlot heads on. Carey unable to possess for Mount St. Joe, flicked ahead by Thompson. Meyer clears. Martinez the closest Greyhound. Dimitri Jordan beats him to that ball and slips by a few Greyhounds there to retain possession. McKenna, the long shot there, just over the crossbar. Casey McKenna, the senior, just slipping that one over the crossbar. A nice shot there for MSJ. Could have drawn them within one with 5 minutes left in regulation. Checking back in for Mount St. Joe, the junior Alex Krabs, who will come on in favor of Owen Anglin. Grant Farley with a goal kick here. We're under 5 minutes left. A short one. Luke Unger played that one with a handball. It'll be a Mount St. Joe free kick right on the midline. 7 Gales forward on this free kick. Farley out to punch it away. He controls that one within his grasp. Farley boots it away. Weinstein, who checked in, on the hot pursuit of that ball for Gilman. Callahan chasing Tyler Martinez. Martinez wins the battle for that control. Playing it down the line for Weinstein. Too much weight on that ball from Tyler Martinez. Mount St. Joe will clear here. Precious seconds remaining on the clock as they start to tick away, as the hopes for Mount St. Joe's season continuing on, starting to tick away as well. McKenna fighting for that ball with Merlot. Merlot taken down by McKenna, and he stays down. A simple foul, no card there against McKenna. Avery Merlot gets up clapping. Diet with the free kick here for Gilman. He'll take it long to the right side in the direction of Dimitri Jordan, who heads on. Martinez there to flick it for Gilman. Weinstein sending it out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Mount St. Joe as John Seal waves back his Greyhounds into their defensive set. All they have to do is keep 2 balls out of the goal in the next 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and they'll walk away with a ticket to the semifinals. Meyer shouldered by Callahan. He forces the ball out of bounds. It'll be a Mount St. Joe throw in their final third. Callahan gives it off to Jordan, who will throw in here. 2.5 minutes left in regulation. The throw headed on by Callahan there inside the box. Luke Unger making the right decision there to just kick it out of bounds. Once again, precious seconds ticking off the clock. Jordan, the throw in there headed away by Webb. Martinez will clear. Carey looking down the right side for Danielson, headed away by Booth, headed on by Warfield. Carey with it now. Brittingham will clear. Jordan will throw. He goes back to Chung on the defensive line. Chung will switch sides of the field with Thompson. The cross from Thompson low, headed away by Brittingham. Weinstein in hot pursuit of that one. Chung there for Mount St. Joe. Dimitri Jordan sends that one into the box. Trickling inside there, McKenna over the goalpost again. Mount St. Joe having trouble getting that ball under the pesky crossbar today. Had about 4 shots sail over. And they're still down 2-0. 1 minute now left on the clock. Desperation time for the Gales. Jordan plays it to his right. Thompson there. Gilman once again back in their defensive position. That play going off the backside of the referee. Unger dispossessed by Chung. John Seal imploring his players to fall back into their defense. Brittingham clears. 30 seconds left on the clock. Andy Weinstein there. Tyler Martinez for the ball. And he'll charge down the line. Martinez going to the corner, trying to hold this ball away from Mount St. Joe and let the time click away. The ball finally goes out of bounds. Mount St. Joe will have a throw, but there are less than 10 seconds left on the clock here. Chung will clear, and Gilman is going to the semifinals. Off of 2 goals from Logan Paff, the senior striker for News. Volleyball playing in their quarterfinal matchup, about to start against BL. If they win, they will play in the semifinals on Wednesday, which will be broadcasted on GTV. On Saturday, we have the 103rd installment of the Gilman-McDonough game, and then hoping that both volleyball and soccer make it to the championship games in their respective conferences.